like a boss.
All right, people, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction, and today we're going to be talking about why you got to stop being the perfect girlfriend. You see, what tends to happen when you try to be the perfect girlfriend, right, is that you tend to suppress your shadow because there are natural instincts that are part of who you are that doesn't blend in with the perfect girlfriend, right? One second. Hello?
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty. You should have received something in the mail about your car's extended warranty. Since we have not gotten a response, we are giving you a final
Scams. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so everybody has a shadow. There's a certain part in my course about how to integrate your shadow into your relationships, right? And what tends to happen is that spiritual communities tend to repress your natural instincts. You limit yourself. You're literally just embracing the other extreme of your personality, which is the goodness, right? But then you also have another extreme, which is your shadow, and the mid-tones of your personality, which is in the middle, which could be a little controversial, right? What you want to do is not just embrace the really fucked up part of your shadow, because those things have a lot of dark fantasies. What you want to embrace is the mid-range of your personality, right? For example, like an example would be, let me see an example, like Eminem, right? Eminem, he's a rapper, but guess what? He embraces his shadow, and it's his shadow side that makes him so unique. When you think of Rihanna, right? You see Rihanna looking all stuff and angry and stuff like that, and you could tell that there's a boundary that you cannot cross. The same thing with Beyonce, the same thing with the most famous people. You'll notice that, right? And what's funny is that, don't you notice how when you watch Maury or when you watch like Divorce Court, usually the fucked up women have like the best boyfriends, like the evil bitches have like the most faithful boyfriends. Don't you wonder why? Isn't it crazy how the evil bitches get the nice ones and then the really nice ones get the evil motherfuckers? It's because your good shadow, your goodness, your angelicness tends to attract predators. You see what I'm saying? It tends to attract, it's a smell that people, that predators just enjoy. On the other hand, when you just embrace your goodness, then the predators come. When you embrace your shadow, what tends to happen is that now you have, the shadow is what attracts the nice guys. You see what I'm saying? It's the shadow, the coldness, what attracts the nice guys. It makes them insecure. So what you want to do is embrace your faults, is embrace the parts of you that you don't consider to be good. You know? Now, I don't want you to be like to be banging the whole goddamn football team. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, if you're gonna do something, do it in the quiet. Don't suppress it. Just do it, but don't let yourself get found out. If you feel moments of clear injustice, right? These are some exercises for you to do, right? Don't be banging the whole goddamn football team, people. Exercises in assertiveness allows you to release your shadow. For example, moments of clear injustice, moments when you know you're right. Okay, moments when you know that somebody did you wrong, you want to embrace it and learn to speak about it, right? Other things that you could do is observe moments of anger, and when you feel angry, observe the fantasies that come out of your anger. What do you wish this person to happen? You know what I'm saying? Notice a side of you that usually that notice the parts of you that you usually gravitate when there's an argument, right? Like for example, notice the sides that you usually take. Okay, like for example, when I watch Divorce Court, I'm always rooting for the guy to not be the father, right? That's a part of my shadow right there, right? I mean, if I don't notice it, I clearly see that there's a bias for women in that part of me, right? Notice the kind of gossip and the kind of news that you sort of gravitate towards, the parts that you have kind of like an evil pleasure. For example, when I was a little kid, like it's fucked up, right? But there was a kid that I hated, and when no one was around, I used to just punch him in the arm, and I got caught one time, right? But for some reason, I just disliked that kid, right? And that's not a normal part of my personality. What you want to do is notice it. And ask yourself, where is it coming out in my life? Because by simply bringing awareness to your shadow, to the hidden fantasies that you have, to the hidden desires, to the hidden resentments, there's something about it that it just becomes integrated into who you are, because it's not unconscious no more. Right? And other things that you could do is kind of like notice the exaggerated feelings you have about other people. Like I hate black people. Let's just say you have that, right? observe that or notice, or like how Joe Budden used to have his daughter checked because he wanted to make sure that she's a virgin, right? Like extreme possessiveness, right? You ask yourself, how do I see that part of me in other parts of my life, right? Or your passive aggression, when people usually do you wrong, but you just stay quiet. What do you say in your head when there's clear injustice and you don't say nothing? What happens? Like observe those little things, because the more perfect you try to be, the more toxic the relationship would be, because you will eventually, when his shadow comes out, you'll just become a little bit more quiet. Sometimes it's a reflection of how you were raised, how when your father's or mother's shadow came out in moments of clear injustice and you just took it because you sort of didn't want to believe that your father and mother were that evil. So you assumed the responsibility. So you become guilty. And if you don't notice it over your whole life, it'll become a pattern. And it was funny, it was ironic about it, is that by simply noticing the pattern, which is difficult for a lot of people because some people have very thick shadows, by simply noticing the pattern, it sort of becomes integrated slowly into your personality. You know, an example of that is Shannon Lester, right? I really do enjoy her. Like Shannon Lester is a great example, because you can sense some evil, and you're like, I know she's laughing, but like, I don't know about that. Like, she is an evil motherfucker. I will please don't leave me alone with her, right? No, I'm kidding, right? But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like for example, like the weak evil month, where her and she had like a knife, and she was like, with the knife. I'm like, look, people, I know that's a joke, but there's always a certain element of truth behind everything people do. You see what I'm saying? Like, or notice the things that you are embarrassed about, moments of humiliation, right? Like, for example, a part of my shadow was when I was younger, I used to experiment to see what people liked and what people didn't like, right? For example, one of the things I experimented with was dressing like shit on a date and to see whether or not that made a difference, right? And it's funny, ladies, is that at that age, it didn't make a difference, right? Another thing will be accents. I used to change up the accent just to see what would make it different. It wouldn't make a difference, because then people noticed that it was my accent, right? Like I used to try the British accent because I used to be very interested in different accents, right? So I tried it, but I didn't realize that people talk, and you don't want that kind of talking about you, because then you look really fake, right? It didn't work out. But what was the shadow behind that? It was more out of a desire to not be who you are. Right? And it's as embarrassing as that is, it's a part that most people will suppress and will not even try to think about, right? But that's part, like, moments of embarrassment and shame are things you want to explore, and you want to ask yourself, how do I see that in my life now? You see what I'm saying? And those things, and what happens is that when you embrace it, even though it's something that you don't want to do, there's power behind that, because then you become comfortable. Those are moments of embarrassment, moments of shame that sort of run in the background, almost as though the sounds of the refrigerator just getting turned off, and then you realize you thought the place was quiet, but as soon as the refrigerator turns off, you realize it wasn't really quiet. There was noise. You were just so accustomed to it that it just ran in the background like static, right? So what does it do? To be honest with you, I have no real concrete evidence that what happens when you observe those dark shadow, like those moments of embarrassment, when you just release it by just becoming aware of it and thinking of it as much as possible and try to laugh at it and embrace it. But by doing that, I don't know, there's just something about it. I'm not going to act like I know everything, you know what I'm saying? But there's something about it that you just become more comfortable. You don't have as many triggers anymore. You see, like, it doesn't trigger you anymore, right? It doesn't trigger embarrassment in your head, right? Moments of embarrassment, moments of things that you always get unintended consequences. For example, you're always trying to be late, always trying to be on time, but you're always late. Clearly, there's a part of you that you cannot control, that's controlling you, right? So you want to observe that part of you that's always late. Why are you always late to things? Is it a sense of superiority? Because when moments that you have to be on time, you're always on time. But for some reason, when it comes to that thing, you're always late. What's the feeling of superiority behind that? Because there is a feeling of superiority behind things that you're always late. You're never late to work, but you're late to your friends' meetings. There is something there, right? You may not notice it, your friend may not notice it, but what you want to do is observe it, because if you don't notice it, these are things that will just continue happening, and what's going to happen is that eventually you're going to get the wrong consequence. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to do is that the more imperfect you are as a partner, not in a toxic way, but the more you allow your flaws to flourish in your relationships, the more healthy it'll be. And how can I say this? It's something that I can't really put into words. But there's a magnetic element to people who have people who have clear flaws. You see what I'm saying? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 8, 19, and one is 14, 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're going to be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you can read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you can pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.